supply, demand meet each other. The government stuck their nose in that. I'm not saying that's a poor choice of words. I don't mean that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that was the change. Government came in and they started doing things that did have an impact on sales, supply, and demand. So things are going to look a little bit funky as we put them in the big context of time. So whatever happened, what I want you to do is just look at 2008 versus 2010. And it's flat. It's pretty consistent at 3 or 4% a year, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in a few minutes. And this is a great show. This is the kind of thing that you just take home, you curl up in front of the sofa with some hot cocoa and look at. Yeah, that's too small. Can we skip to the next one? Okay, here, I was afraid it was going to be too small. When you look at a screen, you can't tell. This is from New Hampshire Housing. They conduct a really good housing finance authority. To track home sales, and it's very encompassing. It's every sale that's taking place. It's of a primary home, and this shows kind of the same thing. Well, I know it's exactly the same thing that I was just talking about. Is 2008? We dipped to 2009. We came back up 2010. So I'm really just putting that there because I'm insecure and I need to show you that I'm right. Again, I'm going to bring this local. Greater Portsmouth, as you know, is the center of the world. And this proves that. I've taken out 2008. Again, 2008, 2009 is weird. From 2007 to 2009, median home price in the United States dropped 21%. The Northeast, it was 16%. New Hampshire, 19%. Rockingham County, 18%. Greater Portsmouth, ta-da! Mathematical proof, center of the world. So all real estate is local. I stole that from somebody. I don't know who it is. So when you pick up the newspaper, you read that Las Vegas' real estate market is critical. It's not even on life support anymore. That's okay. Think of what's happening here. When you look at state statistics, that's interesting, and it's important to follow the trends. But that doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what's happening here. This is sort of what happens here, and you need to listen to people like Mr. Bryce who can tell you what happened 20 minutes ago, just from sitting here. Next, please. Can you go back one? I want to talk about that first, because it's my favorite slide. Recession is largely a psychological phenomenon. We're simplifying, but that's what it is. People they stop spending. They get afraid to spend. And it's one of those chicken and egg things. We don't know what comes first. Do people not spend, so they're scared? Are they scared because they don't spend? But what you see happening is, and if you think about it, you can apply this to yourself, is you find out your next door neighbor just got laid off. And even though they're in a completely different industry, and just, aren't even in the same work segment that you are, but because they got laid off, you might not buy that new refrigerator that you had planned to buy. That's what we do, and that keeps growing. It's not so much that it's irrational, it's just that you're fed by fear and you don't spend anymore. And that's on a corporate level, the same thing happens. Gigantic corporations, they just don't spend because they look down the road. So the next quote, I just love. Could we do that? This is an article that appeared in the Washington Post just a few weeks back, a couple months back. Robert Samuelson, who's one of the great economists of our time, except for these guys. The article is called "Our Economy's Crisis of Confidence." It's psychology, stupid. It's not since World War II has an economic recovery been so hobbled by poor confidence. People are super sensitive to the latest news, for good or bad, because their vision of the future is blurred and their bias is gloomy. Having underrated economic risk during the boom, Americans may be overrating it now. Unfortunately, perceptions can become self-fulfilling. What am I saying? Go buy a house. You want the recession to end? Go buy a house. And for you in this trade, that's the barometer. When people start buying, that's a problem. Notice how I didn't say selling. This market isn't driven by sellers, it's driven by buyers. Glass half full, glass half empty. I always ask what's in the glass. Next, please. Okay, consumer confidence. Again, this is a psychological measure. Consumers, and look what happens here. Here's the recession. Okay, now what comes first, chicken or egg? Did the recession cause people to lose confidence? Did the lack of confidence cause the recession? Doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, there are certainly, economists can clearly explain to you what's happened to the economy based upon national, local, global forces, things on Jupiter, but it starts a trend. It starts a slide. And if you look at the charts of home prices, oh man, I'm being recorded now! Okay, fine. If you look at the charts of other home sales that we're all showing you today, you will see that it sort of mirrors what's happening here. So this is heady stuff, because who wants to read the Wall Street Journal every day? But if you just keep your eye out for this sort of thing, it's a good barometer for what's going on, or even a harbinger for what's going on. If you see confidence start falling, consumer confidence, you're looking at getting a part-time job. It's simple as that. Kim, please. Can we applaud Kim, by the way? Okay. Dennis was talking about this a little bit earlier. This is the ratio of median area income to median area home price. And I was just playing with it, and just to see what it said. And I was playing with it last year before my presentation, and I asked a good friend in real estate if he would proofread my presentation, and he said, take this chart out. It's too confusing. This year he looked at the exact same thing, forgetting he said that to me, he said, this is really good stuff. So I think it's not that he was wrong last year, at least not about this. I just think it's starting to become more interesting. And over here, okay, over there, oh, by the way, this is the numbers that I have here for the entire Hampton, Rochester, that whole loop, because that's the way the government measures things, so I've got to stay consistent, is the ratio of median income here to the median price in this market pretty much stayed in the 2s from 1991 to 2.6, 2.3, 2.5, 2.7-ish. Then we started going up significantly. 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5, where we went from, in 2005, homes were selling at 3.7 times median income. 10 years earlier, it was 2.3, so that's a 50% increase. Now it's starting to come back down. And for so far this year, the multiple is 2.7. And if you go back in time, that's kind of where it was before the boom started, before prices started going a little bit crazy. Maybe that tells us that we're nearing stability. Theoretically, it should, and Dennis put up a really great chart where he tracked the relationship, and so I'm